Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about overstocking nano aquariums and how to do it basically. So before we talk about how to do it, I would like to address a lot of things that are a lot of challenges that you're gonna face. The biggest one is going to be aggression. Second is nutrient control, and I don't know. I can't think of a third one. So it's mainly aggression, really. As far as the fish go, when you cram them in a small space, usually it doesn't go well. Now, ways to minimize aggression is to fill in different niches in the aquarium. Niches means like different roles or different space, just simply different. So what I mean by that is to have fish that swim in different areas of the tank to just look completely different or to act differently. Okay, I'm gonna show you my tank and what I've done, and I hope that that's a good example. So I'm gonna start with the clownfish. The clownfish like to host this coral, and they like to be in this general vicinity. Okay, so they don't like to be. The only reason they're on the top of the water column right now is because they think I'm feeding them, but most of the time they're on the bottom and they're chilling here. The coral beauty, it likes to stay on the bottom and go all around the aquarium, all around in and out of the rocks. Okay, and it never goes on top of the water column. Like, this is as high as half the midpoint is as high as the fish will go. Again, they think I'm feeding, so they're acting differently than what I'm saying. But the clownfish and the coral beauty were duking it out for the first month. Okay, nothing too serious. The fins were being torn, but nothing life-threatening. So I decided to go a little bit heavier on the feedings, and it worked out over time. Doesn't mean that it'll work out for your case. Everyone's tank is different and whatnot. But that's how I keep these 3 fish. Now the 7 chromis, that's a lot of chromis. The 7 chromis I'm able to keep because they actually occupy the top of the water column. They're always on the top, and they're also not seen as competitors to the coral beauty and the clownfish. The chromis are so unsignificant for them that they don't see them as a threat. The coral beauties never picked on the chromis because they're just so they don't resemble the coral beauty. There's not even a competition between the two because the coral beauty is just so much larger, so it doesn't see them as a threat. The clownfish and chromis are actually related, so sometimes so there is that overlap a little bit, which can cause some aggression. Now, because there's 7 chromis, that aggression is widely dispersed. And again, the chromis sit on the top of the water, swim on the top, so they don't invade this area right here, which is what the clownfish occupy. Now, within the chromis, I keep different sizes. So I have some that are extremely tiny, others that are big. And that helps reduce aggression within the school. And also with schooling fish, the more you have, the less aggression you'll have within the school. And that's why I keep so many, really. I kept 5 initially, and only 2 survived within 2 weeks. And that's a very common thing for chromis to do. It's to pick themselves off. So I kept a large amount of them and a wide variety of sizes. And that's worked so far. Somehow it worked. Chromis are very streaky like that. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Just roll the dice, kind of. So occupying niches, different niches within the aquarium, I think that's the single most important thing to cramming fish in a small tank. The second one I would say is feeding. If you feed multiple times throughout the day, that will definitely reduce aggression. I've seen it with my own eyes. If I feed them once a day, they're much more, they get triggered much more quickly by the other fish. But if I feed them 2-3 times a day, it helps. There's a noticeable difference. With all that feeding, with all that fish, you're also gonna face problems with nutrients. Small water volume, a lot of poop. What's gonna happen? The tank's gonna get dirty quickly. What I do is I carbon dose. I use vinegar and I carbon dose the aquarium. That has allowed me to go water change free for the past 7 months with this livestock. So it's huge. I don't have to do water changes because I add vinegar to the tank, which is basically nothing. Vinegar is cheap, dirt cheap. I use a drip system, by the way, but you can look up how to carbon dose to your aquarium. But I highly recommend it to people because it's removed water changes out of my schedule, even with 16 gallons and 10 fish, by the way. Now with carbon dosing also, you need a good protein skimmer because the carbon dosing just helps, like, the protein skimmer remove stuff, really. So having a good quality protein skimmer, or one that's rated, preferably one that's rated for a higher tank, more gallons, would be best, okay? Because then it can remove the most. Now, I understand that there's space constraints, but just go with the biggest protein skimmer you can fit, really. Mine doesn't even fit in the back. I actually had to break the seals on the acrylic. See that? Mine was too big for the back, but I crammed it in there anyways. Mine's rated for 30 gallons, and that's worked for my 16-gallon tank with 10 fish. So the biggest tip I can give you is to look at the different niches and let the fish occupy different niches. That will greatly reduce aggression. The second one is have more feedings throughout the day. And the third one is keep the fish tank clean by whichever method you choose. I recommend carbon dosing. So those are the 3 things. Let's see. It's worked out for me. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll work out for you because every tank's different. But please keep that in mind. And if you have any constructive criticism you'd like to put in the comments, that's fine. I want people to see things from different sources so that they have the most educated, they have the most knowledge for that subject. So please put your comments if you agree or disagree or whatnot. I hope this video helps, and I hope your endeavors in reefing are successful. Thank you for watching, and see you.